Top amazing list present. The 5 most powerful ships in the Star Trek universe. Number 1. Voyager. Yes, while 1979 Star Trek, the motion picture may not have been as glorious, there's no denying the awesome power of Voyager. Taking the form of a mysterious, menacing, luminous cloud the size of a solar system, Voyager was unlike anything the Enterprise crew, or the Federation in general, had ever encountered. By far the largest vessel ever portrayed on Star Trek, Voyager's ship was almost 300 million kilometers across. For comparison, the Death Star was around 160 kilometers, or 82 astronomical units in diameter, or 7.6 billion miles. It possessed blue plasma weapons able to dissolve entire starships and stations in a matter of seconds, and yellow versions hundreds of times more powerful. Needless to say, it is able to destroy entire planets with very little effort. The vessel, considered a living being with a sentient spacecraft at its center, was described as being able to generate 12th power energy, or a scale beyond that which would be generated by thousands of starships. There's no doubt about it, Voyager stomps the Enterprise, plays ball with the Death Star, and holds the undisputed top spot as the most powerful ship ever in the Star Trek universe. Number 2. Krynim Temporal Weapon Ship. The powers of this craft from Star Trek, Voyager is virtually unlimited. Spearheaded by a Krynim scientist named Anurax, the temporal weapon ship had the power to eliminate its targets from the space-time continuum entirely, even erasing entire species from history. It was first used against the Rhonar, moral enemies of the Krynim, but was also used against the Alshuran Empire, the Malkuth, the Zal, the Garner, and the Ram-Izad. When its temporal core is in operation, the vessel and everyone on it stands outside the space-time continuum, rendering it immune to damage by conventional weaponry and protecting its crew from the passage of time, essentially making them immortal. Though the Krynim temporal weapon ship's greatest weapon is obviously its power to change history, it also sported formidable direct energy weapons for more conventional combat. The temporal ship's core concept would be emulated by the Romulan ship Narada in the 2009 Star Trek movie, but even the Narada couldn't actually wipe out the Vulcan civilization, whereas the Krynim temporal weapon ship was used to erase countless entire species over the course of 2 centuries. Number 3. Species 8472 Bioship. One of the most memorable moments of Star Trek, Voyager is the opening of the 2-part episode Scorpion, where off-screen Species 8472 bioships effortlessly destroy 2 Borg cubes. Species 8472 emerged as the first species able to carve through Borg ships like a hot knife through butter, and made a big impression on the Star Trek universe in doing so. Invading from fluidic space, the unnamed species used organic ships with biotechnology more advanced than anything the Borg had ever seen. The bioship was heavily fortified and armed with weapons so powerful and frightening they actually necessitated a temporary Federation-Borg alliance. The relatively small Species 8472 bioships were shown pretty much destroying everything in their path. A group of 8 of the vessels, with another energy-focusing ship, was able to destroy an entire planet in seconds, Death Star style. After a failed Borg invasion of fluidic space, Species 8472 began a systematic extermination of the Borg and other species. Within a period of 5 months, the bioships were able to destroy tens of billions of drones and hundreds of Borg-controlled planets. To make them even more epic, each ship only has 1 pilot and shares DNA with them. Its outer hull was also invulnerable to conventional weaponry, scanners, and tractor beams. Number 4. Doomsday Machine. One of the most iconic vessels from Star Trek, TOS, the Doomsday Machine was a nameless, automated device capable of destroying entire planets. The aptly named Planet Killer literally ate planets, and ships, and pretty much anything else that it could fit into its maw, destroying planets with its anti-proton beam and fueling itself with the rubble. By the time the machine was encountered by the crew of the Enterprise in the episode The Doomsday Machine, it had already destroyed and consumed all 7 planets in System L370. Perhaps the most chilling thing about the Doomsday Machine is that its origins remain unknown. It was believed to come from another galaxy outside the Milky Way. Even though it only appeared in 1 episode, it remains an instantly recognizable fan favorite and has been featured in several non-canon productions. The Planet Killer's outside hull was made of pure neutronium, rendering it completely invulnerable to attack. It also projected a powerful dampening field that cut off communications and could disable even the most powerful Starfleet vessels with a few shots of its beam. The Planet Killer's tractor beam would then pull the ships into its glowing maw. Number 5. Nephar Warship. While not as well known as the Bird of Prey, this Klingon battleship was the largest and most powerful class of starship in the service of the Klingon Empire. The original IKS Nevar was the flagship of the Klingon Imperial Fleet under the command of General Marduk. The ship saw service during the Klingon-Cardassian War, where it was used to devastating effect, and during a clash with the station was able to inflict damage on a militarily refitted DS-9, able to pierce the station's shield sufficiently to transport Klingon troops aboard. Measuring in at 2,250 feet, 686 meters, long, the Nevar class was also heavily armed with phasers, disruptors, and torpedoes, and outfitted with a cloaking device. It could easily prove a match for a comparable Federation and Cardassian ships at the time. Near the end of the Dominion War, several of these ships were in service to the Empire.